Right now, though, we hit the road with Olympic gold medalist Jared Talent to look at the precision technique needed to master race walking.
My name is Jared Talent. I'm a race walker. I compete in a 20-kilometre and a 50-kilometre walk. I went to my first Olympics in 2008 and won a silver and a bronze medal. And 2012 Olympics, I backed that up with a gold medal in 50K. Race walking is an endurance sport. It's an endurance event in athletics. There's two events. The 20-kilometre event will go for around 80 minutes. 50K, a little bit slower, but obviously a lot longer event. We're going just over 3.5 hours. In the 20K, you can reach speeds up to around 16 kilometres an hour for the best guys in the world. 50K, a little bit slower, getting down to around 410 per kilometre, about 14.5 k's an hour. With race walking, there's two simple rules. First rule is you've got to maintain contact with the ground at all times. So you've got to have one foot on the ground at all times. And the second rule is when your leading leg lands, it has to be straight. That's what defines the difference between walking and running. Running, you'll land with a bent knee, and also you'll have both feet off the ground during the gait. The movement's very different to what most people are used to. You've got to be really precise in your technique and getting that correct so you get through the race. There's a really strong arm action, really long hip action. It's a heel-toe action as well. Arm movement is very important. You get a lot of drive from your arms, so you use sort of like an L shape, and your arms are held a lot lower than what you would if you were running. You don't get much impact on the ground as compared to what you would if you were running. Running, you probably get about 5 times your body weight going through the ground. For race walking, it's only about 2 to 3 times, so it's actually a little bit easier on the body. On a typical day, it's usually get up around 7:30, head out training about an hour to 2 hours later. And the distances in the morning can vary quite a bit depending on the day. You can have an easy day where we'll do 10 to 15 kilometres. A really hard day, I'll do up to 45 kilometres in the morning, and that'll take over 3.5 hours. In the gym for a race walker, you've got to really work on the muscles around the hips and the upper legs. So the exercises I do increases your power and also keeps away those niggles and injuries. When doing weights in the gym, everything's really for injury prevention and just a little bit of strength work. So mainly working on the glutes and the hamstrings, lower back, and also the shins and calves, and a little bit of upper body work and also a bit of ab work. So generally a little bit all over, but the main area is the hamstrings. For a race walker, the most common injuries are hamstrings, particularly for the 50K guys. If you're training a lot throughout the week and you're doing up to 200 kilometres, you're putting a lot of stress on the hamstrings.
Physio is very important, just loosening up the muscles, and good for maintenance, just trying to keep everything feeling good. So when I'm out there training, that just keeping away from those little niggles or injuries.
With all of the kilometres that race walkers do, backs get quite tight, hip flexors get quite tight, glutes and upper hamstrings. So that's mostly what I'll be working on.
Stretching is really important, particularly for technique, because the technique's so vital in the sport, and obviously you don't want to get disqualified. Doing a lot of stretching just to keep my hips loose, my hamstrings, just so I can get more rotation in my hips and makes my technique look better.
So we use recovery pools after training to help aid recovery after really hard training sessions. For recovery after a training session, we'll use the hot and cold therapy. So you go on the hot first in the spa, it's usually around 38 degrees. And then you jump in the cold. At the minute it's probably about 13 or 14 degrees. Sometimes coming in, if you're really fatigued, it's good to just do a big long stint in the cold, and you might aim for 10 minutes. London 2012 was a mixed experience. Went into those games with high hopes in the 50K, came second across the line and got the silver medal, and was beaten by a Russian. And nearly 4 years later, it was announced that he'd actually been banned for doping. He'd failed a drugs test around the time of the games, but now it's been brought out and justice has been served. No one can ever take it away from me now. I'm an Olympic champion, and everyone from now will see that in 2012 I was the gold medalist. I still do both events at the Olympics, the 20K and the 50K, so a perfect Olympic Games for me would to be able to win both of those events. So I've medalled in both before, but to go to the Games, win both, and stand on the podium in both, top of the podium, would be pretty special, and that would be an absolutely amazing Olympic Games for me.
السيئة.